4 years of history with a deer that was underestimated his whole life. Years of opportunity all came down to this one moment.
Oh my God, I smoked him. I smoked him.
This is the story of Migo.
All right, so in 2022, which would have been the shed season of 21, we kind of got a lead on a new lease, and so we went to check it out and just happened to time up with early shed season. So we took a cruise around this place, and immediately we're like, yeah, this is happening. We're going to take this. But we got to the north end of it, and we were sitting there kind of strategizing this one particular spot because it just laid out perfectly for a bow hunting scenario. It's a big bottleneck gap down into ag, and what turned out being alfalfa on the one side of it. But as we sat there kind of strategizing it, we were sitting there 4 or 5 minutes, and I kind of look over and I'm like, oh, there's an antler there. We've been standing here for 5 minutes, and there's an antler laying 20 yards from us. So I go pick it up, and it is just like screaming with potential. It's this little 2-year-old 5-side with a split G3 and a kicker off his base, and was about everything you could have asked for and seen potential for what a farm could offer. So usually with these deer, we keep pretty good tabs on them year by year, especially if it's going to be one that we're trying to pass and grow. Well, Migo is a little bit different. We found that shed, obviously, and then actually a week later found the other side, and we're super pumped about him. But we got into the summer of 22, and I got a picture of Migo, and he was an absolute junker, had damaged both of his antlers in velvet, and I'll be honest, I might have kept 1 or 2 trail camera pictures of him, but he was like nothing that we had kept tabs on the entire 2022 season. So this farm was kind of different in the conventional farming aspect. The farmer had actually done corn to corn for the first 2 years of us having it. So we had kind of seen what these deer had done on corn patterns, and they weren't there in the summer very much. And then as the season progressed, actually the combine that is used isn't the best, which you find in a lot of scenarios, but it left a lot of food. So like even in the shed season, we were finding antlers off of deer that we had no pictures of. In fact, I found almost a 90-inch antler off a deer that we still to this day have no clue where he's at. But going into the 23 season, this was the first year we were going to get to experience the farm in beans. So July rolled around, and it's everybody's dreaming time of year when it comes to velvet scouting. So we got some cameras out, and there was this one particular point where it wasn't really a hard edge. It was just the property line was a little grassy, had a couple shrubs, and it wasn't even a crop transition. It was just beans to beans, but it had this little like grassy area that it just felt like would be a good spot for a deer to lay in the summer, and put a camera out on it, and it didn't take us any time. And we got our first pictures of Migo, and he exploded. So the strategy for Migo kind of came into play of almost hitting the brakes. We didn't hunt the farm very much the first and second year, but when we got pictures of Migo as a 4-year-old, and he had blown into this deer that was showing some unreal potential, we were like, there's nothing else here to hunt. So instead of just going and putting unnecessary pressure on the farm, let's leave it alone. We left the farm alone literally all year until I knew that he was going to make it, because he was locked on our food late season. And my goal kind of was the last couple of days of season with the negative 40-degree temps we had is I wanted some video of him. I wanted to see the deer in person. And I went in there, and the last 3 days of season, I filmed him every single day.
It is real feel -30. It is the last day of Illinois bow season. And I've got 2 heaters running in here because I'm trying to keep the windows from, they're going to fog up no matter what, but I'm trying to keep them liquid so I can at least see out of them. Because last night it was a hassle to try to scrape ice off these things all night long. So hopefully tonight we can get something done here. Keep the windows at least defogged so I can see out of them. I always find big antlers here. It always seems to be the big deer move in late here just because they know the food's always here. So last year I found a 75-inch and an 86-inch antler in the same day that I had no clue either deer even existed. But I'll try getting on video for you guys, so we'll see.
So So I got that awesome film, and it really excited us for shed season because, again, like I said, this farm was known for having, a poor combine, and so it leaves food everywhere. So all these deer in the area know that this is the place to come for food. So we were excited to start up shed season again. And we actually had our buddies Braden Price and Peter Rubino come out, and we had a big shed extravaganza. We ran around a bunch of our farms, but we were actually able to pick up both Amigo sides.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
What else we got? One more antler? 3 antlers?
Oh, you guys got some more? No, that's the same one. I'm glad we got him, dude.
That's sweet.
I was walking in the woods. I was like, I was like, man, this is thick. I pulled my phone. I said, we got Migo. I was like, where's we and where at? And I yelled, and they were over here. And I was like, holy shit. I screamed, y'all come back in here and keep looking. They're like, we got the other side. I'm like, dude, let's go, man.
I'm happy I let him go because he is quite a bit smaller than I thought he was. All right. I'll see you guys.
Awesome.
I'll see you guys at dinner tonight.
Are you done?
So going back to the setup, the farmer works really well with us, and he's actually ate up with deer hunting just about as much as we are. He just loves the practice of it. So we talked with him, and he was actually going to plant about 30 acres of alfalfa total on the property, but in the particular farm that Migo was on, he was going to plant us like a secluded 4-acre alfalfa field. And in the 23 season, it got planted late, and we had terrible rain, and it ended up just being, it had alfalfa in it, but it was more or less just rye and fescue grass with a little bit of alfalfa in it. But it was enough to start getting those deer acclimated to having that food source there, which had never been there before. So obviously going into the 24 season, now knowing that we have this awesome alfalfa stand and we're back to corn, which we know what Migo's patterns are on that corn year, we were pretty excited. But when we put cameras out, we didn't get any pictures of Migo for the longest time, and it was kind of worrying. But then we got one real faint, or actually we got one picture of him real early, and he was right in the camera, and it was just the start of his rack, and we could just tell it was him. He's blind in his left eye, and obviously you can't mistake that frame. So after that video, again, he wasn't around much. I don't know where he summered, still don't know where he summered to this day, but it wasn't on us. And we were getting very seldom pictures of him, and it didn't really light up even until, I want to say, the first week of October after its season had started and the combines had kind of started firing up in the area. All of a sudden, one day we got a picture of him, and then he was there the next day, and then he was there the next day, and we were finding out quickly that he was back on his regular season pattern. So like I said, going back into this year, this farm was back in corn, and I feel like this farm is super productive on a corn year, but it's never been corn with alfalfa. And we had the perfect transition line with a 40-yard bottleneck, and we had the blind directly in the middle where it was 20 yards this way, 20 yards this way, and set up perfect for that first week of October to have mowed corn, and that's what I did. And Migo used it in the dark, but we never got a visual on him during the early part of the season. So I go in about a week before season and I do the first corn mowing. I kind of give us some senderos, and because I didn't want to mow it up all too early and maybe not get him killed early like I'm expecting to, but I still want to have corn there for going into later October. The cameras are firing, we're getting pictures of him, but it's all nocturnal. We're not getting the weather front I really want, and honestly, the total deer activity on that side of the farm was just really slow.
Yes. Alright, it's October 7th, and it's like 5:15. And we just sat here for 2 hours and didn't do an interview. And we just had some deer come out about 30 minutes earlier than they did the other night, so we're going to do the interview now. But anyways, we're sitting up here in Adams County again. We're sitting on the plot maintainer sat the other night. We have like a quarter acre, a third of an acre mowed corn, and then about 4 acres of alfalfa, so it's like a pretty dynamite setup. But we're hunting Migo. I'm pretty sure I'm going to shoot him, but I'd like to at least look at him beforehand. But either way, we'll see what happens. This farm is kind of known for just having random walkers on it too, so I wouldn't mind a random 190 walking by, but we'll see. So we're going to switch the lens over now and get you some beautiful Tristan Williams deer natural footage. So we'll see how tonight progresses.
So I went in and I mowed some more corn. I gave myself a little bit better of an opening. Then I actually took a white pine post in there and I put it about 25 yards from blind. And I don't know if you know anything about white pine, but it's a super soft branch and the deer love it. It just turns into this huge rubbing post. And then I also took 2 oak branches and screwed them in off each side for scrape branches. And I literally came back 4 days later and it was destroyed. Me and Tristan had slipped in and I get to the bottom of the box, kind of look around the corner, and I turn around and look at Tristan. I'm like, the treacle is destroyed. Now, granted, we didn't have any pictures because I hadn't moved the camera yet, but the way it was hit just had me thinking funny.
Where's your... Oh.
Alright, tell me what we got. Well, guys, I'm back to being 16. It's youth season here, and I'm just, you know, I'm kidding. It is youth season here in Illinois. 1 second. Better? That looks better?
Yep.
Wipe some of the ugliness off.
Yep.
So it is exactly 4 o'clock, and we just hopped for the blind. I'm just going to forecast it. This might be the best hunt of the year. It's like, is it 60 degrees?
Maybe.
I was going to say, when I was walking in, I noticed my fingers were cold from the breeze, so I'm going to call it less than 60, but I haven't hunted this spot since last week. And last week I came in and I put a tree coin in. And then the next day I came in and I mowed some of the corn because I didn't like that I couldn't shoot, you know, the edge of the alfalfa. So I mowed the rest of the corn, put the tree coin in. Well, it's been maybe a week. No, it's been like 5 days. And me and Tristan just hopped into the blind here. And the tree coin's destroyed. It's got scrapes under each branch. And the post is hammered. Which is, I mean, I've seen him hit them quick. But I don't know that I've ever seen him hit them that hard that quick. So that's pretty cool. We're hunting Migo. And it's kind of doing like a little different setup. Where I'm not really worried about cameras. Like, I know the deer's here, and I'm not, like, we've got dead cell cameras all over the place, but I'm not really worried about getting a picture of him just because I know he is here, and honestly, the pictures we've been getting him this year, he's been getting real squirrely about the cameras, so in my opinion, it's almost better just to leave it be and leave the pressure low and just let him do his thing and just be here because you know he's here, so. Ashley shot her deer last night. Congrats to her, that's a good deer. And, yeah, it's, what did I say it was? It's October 14th, and we are going to kill Migo tonight. That's what we're going to do. Alrighty, it is October 16th, and I just got in the blind. About 4:15, and it is just kind of like one of those days that just feels right. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but the day feels right. So we just had, while Spindles was out there, we just had a new buck show up on this farm on the other side of this wood block, walking this way with a handful of does. Looks like a pretty stinking good deer. It looks like kind of like Migo does. It'll be interesting to see if that deer makes his way over here tonight. It's the first time in all of these really good days of hunting that I think I've actually had deer filter out not in the last 30 seconds of shooting light, so that's a win. Let's kill one. Why not? Oh, why not? Turn it around now. It's a killing night, I'm telling you that right now. The weather has gone from dreary 60 degrees to super clear, super high pressure 60 degrees. Temperature hasn't changed. If anything, the temperature trend is technically falling as it clears up. So somebody somewhere, whether it's me or Tanner or Bobby or Jim or Kevin, somebody is killing something tonight because it is way too good of weather to, I mean, like, way too good of weather. It's going to be the end of October. This is like the time of year I dreamed of hunting this spot. Like, dreamed of hunting this spot because of how the trees look and the setup itself. It just lays out way too nice. And to top it all off, even as the deer are acting right, Migo was standing right here last night, or this morning at almost 6:30. So my thought process is he's bedded somewhere within very close distance of this, unless for some reason he decided to get a set of legs on him and he took off and now he's somewhere else, which is a pretty good chance with this deer. So, but my theory is that since he was here so close to daylight, technically, I don't think it was technically shooting light. It's like 10 minutes before shooting light. My thought process is he's got to be bedded pretty close to here, and rightfully so. I mean, we're getting to be the end of October right now, and the spot is loaded with does. So Buck's mindset's obviously changing right now, and he's starting to become more female focused. And Firehead might be here. There's a lot of does here, so. Alright, it's October 25th. It is officially the start of my favorite 5 days of hunting in the next month. Anyways, October 25th, these next 5 days, 6 days are my favorite days to hunt in potentially the whole year, other than really cold days late season. So, just got my blind. It's about 3:30. I had a front blow through last night that I think could probably do something pretty special. Rain kind of unexpectedly, like, I think we almost got a half inch overnight. And yesterday evening, I didn't hunt, and Migo was out here at last light in the tree koi. So he's starting to become a little bit more of a regular, which is nice, and what I wanted and kind of what I expected to have happen is as the year went on, he'd find the does here, and realistically there's not many other bucks here, so, and he's probably the oldest one, so I mean he can really come in and assert his dominance pretty easily in my opinion. So he come in yesterday and absolutely tore the tree koi up. I mean, the whole left side of that thing is shredded now. There's about nothing left of the scrape branch on the left side, but double fingers crossed.
So my plan was October 25th, I was going to hunt the evening, sleep in the blind, and I was going to be there to hunt October 26th in the morning because I just felt like that spot, being that I was hunting food, was going to be hard to get into without blowing it up. And but plans had kind of changed. October 25th, that evening, a good friend of mine killed a deer that he had a long history with, and I just wasn't going to miss that. You know, the memories that I made with that were fantastic, and it was well worth missing out on a morning hunt. But that in turn, October 26th, the morning I was going to be there sleeping, I get a trail camera video, and there's Migo tearing up the scrape at 8:30 in the morning. Now, my initial reaction to seeing that video was kind of, you know, dreaded, a little bit not heartbroken, but just, I was like, man, I didn't get to, you know, see him. But in my mind, I'm like, man, it's 8:30 and it's pre-rut. I mean, he's going to be close tonight. Like, he probably didn't go very far. He probably just went right in the woods there because from the scrape, he had turned and gone into the edge. In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I didn't get to see him this morning, but he's probably going to be there again tonight.
All right, it's October 26th. It's about 3:40, and some big deer hit the ground yesterday. Had a couple different booners get taken down, and I feel like today almost could be better. We've got a 30.4 pressure, which is high, I think, especially high for October, which is awesome, I think. I mean, we've got just crystal clean air. The air just feels light. So I'm back in here after Migo. He was in the backside of this field hitting the scrape this morning at 8:30. He didn't make it up here, so I'm assuming he either cut across the field and went it over here, or he just hooked this edge and went up into the white oak flat. So I'm hoping to take that as a sign as he's close, but there's no telling with him. He is just all over the place constantly, so looking forward to it. And like I said, 340, mowed corn. I got the scrape, the rubbing post and the scrape post right here, so he was hitting it 2 nights ago, right at last light, so it's a matter of time at this point, this time of year. I mean, it's getting to be right. I sat here last night and had a phenomenal sit. I had spindles in here, big 8-pointer, a couple of toes and a couple small bucks, and they were doing it right. So hopefully with any luck, old Migo makes an appearance, get a good look at him, and with any luck, we'll shoot him right here off this tree core. That would be full circle right there. So would love to make it happen. Oh, Grandpa Squeak. Last time we hunted together, I shot my first deer ever. Figured I'd break out a good luck charm. See if we can make something happen.
So going into the hunt, I was excited. I went early, got in the blind, and I was sitting there, and I'll be honest, movements kind of started slow. It didn't start off hot like I wanted it to. We had great weather. The pressure was high. It was climbing. It was like a 30.4 pressure. It was just unbelievable for the October 26th. Now I'm sitting there, and about an hour before dark, all of a sudden the floodgates open. I had never seen this amount of deer at this spot in the 3 years I have hunted it. I had 10 does coming out on this side, 10 does coming out on this side, 3 or 4 different bucks coming out the back of the field. And it was about that moment that I was like, this is gonna be the night. So I'm sitting there, Migo's all over the place. I'm self-filming, it's hard to keep up with a deer like that. Even in a box blind over a big field. When a deer is running around like that, it is the most difficult thing to self-film and still be prepared to get a shot. And actually at one point, Migo had come into about 35 yards, and I just wasn't gonna rush it. It was early, I had plenty of time, and I just focused on getting footage.
Stuff. That's Migo. You just push some of those does back up in the woods here. And actually, I think he's going to come back out. Anyways, that is wicked right there. That is a big old deer, man. That is just so cool. I don't know what time it is. I shut my phone off, but that is some cool stuff, man. I hope he comes back out here to get a shot at it, because that's an awesome deer, man. We'll see. It's just up in here, so he's either going to play around with toes all night long, or he's going to end up in my lap over too.
So after Migo had cleared the field, after about 30 minutes of being out there and running every deer off, I was sitting there watching him, and in my mind, I was like, man, he had run every deer out in front of me, and I was like, man, if I got one new doe to come in close into the corn, I know he would come down here. And I no sooner got that thought out of my head, and all of a sudden I heard some crunching, and I actually had sat up in the blind and looked out, and there was a doe so close at about 6 yards that I didn't even see her come in. But as soon as I saw her, I looked at him, and he saw her. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I got the camera ready on wide angle, and I was just going to focus on getting the shot done because he was coming quick.
And he's done. And he's done. And he's done. And he's done. He's going to go down right there in the alfalfa. There he goes. There he goes. Oh my God. I freaking did it. Oh my God. I smoked him. I smoked him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I smoked him. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And he's dead in the alfalfa. Dead in the alfalfa. Dead in the alfalfa. Awesome, dude. That's sick. Oh my dude, he's been out here for 35 minutes. Yeah, Tanner called me. He's like, I think Mick was out there laying around with Jesse. Why is he done shooting him? Oh my gosh, dude. I freaking got him. He's laying dead in the alfalfa. He's dead in the alfalfa. I mean, I smoked him at 18 yards. No kidding. 18 yards. I left the camera wide angle just because it's so dark. But I mean, I literally prayed all night. I was like, I need a doe to come back into the corn that he hasn't messed with yet to get him to come back. And I was sitting here looking at him. And then all of a sudden out of my peripheral, bonk, doe right here at 8 yards. And he turned on a dime and come right in. And I dropped the window, he turned broadside, and I stopped him. Or I killed him. Was it all on video? Yep, all on video. Holy moly, dude, that's awesome. Dude, he is a freaking tank. Yeah, I knew his body looked gigantic. He's a freaking tank. Oh my goodness. Let's go. All right, I gotta call Aubrey. My phone's about dead. All right, bye.
So the beauty of this whole hunt and this doesn't happen very often, is the Stay family was not only in the same state, but we were all in the same farm. So I got to make a couple phone calls to my mom and dad sitting on the north end, and then Tanner and Tristan sitting on the south end. And I'm pretty sure that everybody else was having a pretty slow hunt, because I didn't no sooner get back to the truck, with it still being daylight, and everybody was there waiting for me.
Oh my God, he shot him on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh my God, that's so awesome, dude. He came back up to the field, didn't he? 17 yards he shot him. Oh my gosh, dude. Congratulations, that's awesome, dude. Is he big? Let's go, baby. Yes, he just smoked him at 17 yards. That's insane. Migo down, baby. Migo down, dude. Hell yeah. We knew that was gonna happen. I knew it, dude.
So Jesse ended up shooting his target buck tonight, and I could see his lights on his truck just came on, so he just made it out. So we happen to be hunting on the same farm, all of us. Tanner's down the other end, and we're gonna meet up with him here. And he said he's dead in the alfalfa, and he got it all on film. So pretty sweet. I knew it was gonna happen while we were all on the same farm. That's sweet, dude. You already walk up to him? No? Really? Just, yeah, I knew he was good. He's got too many points. Like,
I looked at him at about 60 yards in the binos.
Yeah.
He doesn't have normal bases.
Oh, really?
Because I got it done.
We are headed in to get Migo. Migo.
Oh, God!
You want to hit another one of these? You're rolling?
I am. You've been crying.
Oh, whoa. Yeah.
You're close to his shoulder.
Yeah. No, I don't care.
That's your tracking shoes, bro.
The tracking.
Nope. Yeah, and that was with my first booter. This was with my second.
Let there be light.
Can you see?
All right.
Okay.
Ready to keep going?
Yeah, I see a good amount of blood to follow.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, we can just meander right out there. No worries.
All right. Well,
Meander.
let's meander. Careful, I can't film your butt too much. Our haters will say I'm suspicious. Yeah.
Ran around. Then it shot at me and ran a little bit.
Not very far. Oh boy. Oh my gosh.
Flip them over.
I don't know what the other thing looks like.
Hold on.
I don't know how you stack that many inches in a little frame like that.
Well, that's some points.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Dude.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the coolest deer ever.
That's freaking awesome.
And he's got, you start from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Look at his
5,
left
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on his right side.
Oh my gosh.
And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he's got 25 points.
Oh my gosh.
Look at the nose.
Look at the
and
eye.
head on that deer. He was blind in one eye.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Wow. That is one of the most unique deer you may ever shoot.
I mean, seriously.
And talk about an old bruiser. I mean, that deer's been on the farm since we got it.
You guys remember when we found his first
Yeah.
antler, right? Right here.
Yeah.
Like right where the trucks are parked. That was one of the first antlers
It was the first antler on this side.
we ever found on this farm like 4 years ago. And
Before we took the lease.
Yep, and that you just killed the deer right there, when almost where the antlers were.
Hmm.
He's actually probably going to surprise you.
That's what you and I talked about earlier,
Yeah.
Jesse.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's got so many points. You're going to get up to him and be like, oh, I didn't, we missed 10 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look how much more massive he is
Yeah.
from the past couple years. I mean, he's not necessarily massive, but it just beams. I mean, he's not got the longest beams, but he's just got awesome mass.
Think about how many inches he put on from the sheds last year.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And he's not broken one thing off. So talk about a dream hunt. I mean, I literally could not have written that up any better. I got to watch this deer we call Migo for 35 minutes, run does, run bucks off. Really just got to see him do what bucks do this time of year. It's October 26th, and he was putting on a show. I mean, he come out, blew scrapes out, chased does around, and then ultimately we had a single doe sneak in on us about 8 yards, and that was his demise. I mean, he literally could not resist it and come into 16 yards, and what I would consider pummeled him. I mean, he went down in the field, and the backstory of this deer is actually pretty long. We started leasing this farm in 2022. In March of 2022, we found this deer shed at what we think is a 2-year-old, but he had some great genetics. We found his set on this place, but the first day we were here, we found his one antler. And then 23, he had 22, he had a terrible growth year for velvet. And then in 23, he showed us that he had some pretty cool character hiding there in this little tiny frame. And this year, I mean, he just exploded. He's, like I said, he's got a pretty small frame, but I mean, he has just stacked on the points inside this little frame. I mean, he's got 25 that we think scoreable points in there, and he's got the potential to be my biggest deer ever. So, I mean, it was a phenomenal hunt. Like I said, I could not have drawn it up any better. And, the cliche thing to say is I couldn't be any happier, but really that's how I'm feeling right now. So as we got out there and we're doing our hero shots, it kind of all started to set in that, we put all this work in for, whether it's a particular deer or the deer herd in general. But this was just a little bit different. It was a 4-year history of playing it safe and really betting on the deer at the end of the day. That played out, how, everybody dreams. It just did. Everything unfolded exactly how we wrote it up. I mean, and when you sit there and think about that, the pride is there in taking the animal, but it sucks at the end of the day to know that the next day you're not going to get a picture of them. And the chase for that particular deer is over, and all the time and effort that was put into it, the deed is done. You're not ever going to chase that deer again. And so just have to sit there with a deer sometimes and understand the magnitude of what has happened and how special that particular chase got to be.
You man.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Fast and 20. Welcome to the 190 club.
Get out of here!
190 and 7/8.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Dude, he's a giant. Oh my God! Oh my God! I didn't think he was that big. Holy cow! Yeah, no kidding. He went from 150 to 190 in 1 year. Holy cow! Oh my God! That one antler is 102 inches? Oh my God! Holy.
Marlo says congratulations.
Thank you.
So yesterday, Jesse says to me,
Should I shoot him? He doesn't look that big on camera. All right, I was wrong. You got me on that one.
Call me.
Holy cow.